Okay, today is Christmas Day, 25th of December 2016. Now, why am I recording something on Christmas Day? Well, there are many reasons. I was actually going to do this message on the 23rd of December because that would be the first 1 year anniversary of the last time I saw you. I came to Wales for the day, met you at McDonald's near Coconuts. We opened up a couple of presents. We then went to Coconuts and I then travelled home, and I got home about 11 o'clock and went to bed. And when I woke up the following morning, there was an email waiting for me from your mother saying that she was going to be cancelling supervised visits. Do not contact her. She is contacting mediation, and they were getting in contact with me. Now, I still had another supervised visit planned for the 2nd of January 2016, which would coincide a few days before your 5th birthday. I didn't contact your mum until after Boxing Day. I wanted clarification. I said, hang on, we had an agreement here that I was going to come up and see you on your birthday. And your mother's reaction was, do not contact her. Mediation will be in contact with me shortly. And she would be telling you that the reason I can't come up to see you was because I was working. I wasn't working, but I did work because I had nothing planned and I was bored. It was a stock take at work and I wanted to be useful, but I had no intention of working. I actually had that day booked off just to come and see you. And I felt aggrieved in many ways because I bought quite a lot of presents, and I got the feeling that maybe those presents were actually passed off as being given to you by your mother. And I just kind of felt that once you got all the presents out of me, I was out of the picture again. Brilliant. Mediation never contacted me, and I then started writing a series of letters that I wanted you to see when you were old enough to read them. There are 3 letters, and that's for another time. I think I've talked about these letters in other videos, but the 23rd of December 2016 was when I was going to do a video just to talk about the whole of this year, really, and not so much a celebration but an anniversary of the last time that I saw you. But the reason I didn't do it on the 23rd was because my mother, Nanny Bett, is very poorly. It's Christmas Day today. It's 9:05 in the morning, and Mum would be normally, probably having a cup of tea with a bowl of cornflakes with me, and I might be pottering around in the kitchen, preparing the beef, and then later she would be preparing the vegetables. But Mummy's not here. She's in hospital. She's very poorly. She was taken ill in September of this year. She had a fall in her back garden while I was actually away in Croatia on holiday to celebrate Martina's 33rd birthday. Unfortunately, there was nobody here to look after her. She was in hospital for 2 days, and my niece Nicola looked after her when she came home. And when I came home, Nicola went home about a day afterwards. Mum had fallen over on her, Mum's got an arthritic knee, but she fell over on her good knee, so now she's got 2 bad knees, and she's been struggling to walk. But she has, for about 2 months onwards, been able to get to the shops, albeit go shopping with me. However, despite the fact that she was struggling to walk, she was walking up until the end of November, or just before the end of November, when she was taken ill again. She was banging on the wall in her bedroom, and I went into the room at 6:15 in the morning to find out what was going wrong. And Mum says that every time she takes her oxygen machine off her face, she can't breathe. And an ambulance was called. It turned out she was suffering with so-called hypoxia, which is a lack of oxygen to the brain, I think. And she was in hospital for 6 days, but she didn't seem well in hospital to me. And when she came out, she wasn't well either. She was constantly sleeping during the day. She had no energy, and also when she came out, she wasn't walking much. Now, while I was away, what was it? I actually booked 3 days away in Germany to go and do the Christmas markets with Martina, and while I was away, Mum had finally got a wheelchair, and this was a massive shock to me, because Mum is very independent and she does not want to rely on a wheelchair or a mobility scooter, but she was struggling with walking, and I think the reason that she decided to get a wheelchair was because when she was in hospital with me, I had to sort of wheel around from the ward to Costa Coffee on the bottom floor, and she would not be able to walk there on her own. So I pushed her around, and I think that got her thinking that maybe she does need a wheelchair. But she was, although the wheelchair was purely designed to get her to and from the shops, the idea was when she was in the shop she'd do a bit of walking herself, but that didn't always happen. And basically she's hardly been walking since she came out of hospital at the end of November, and she's been sleeping a lot during the day. She's got no energy, and sometimes you're talking to her and she doesn't seem there. I'll give an example. In 2011, just after the time you were born, Mum was very poorly. She had a trapped nerve and she was basically bedbound, and she was in so much pain that she was like trying to sort of get hold of this like little flat glass panel that was on one of her bedside tablets. She was trying to grab hold of it to stab herself with it because she didn't want to live anymore. And I cried my eyes out and I said, I don't want you to die, Mum, I just want a mum. And she put her hand on my head and told me what a wonderful son I was. And then some weeks or months later she got better. Fast forward that to less than a couple of weeks ago, and I cry my eyes out in front of her because I can just see that she's just not all there, and it's breaking my heart to see her sort of like slowly sort of demise. And I get no reaction from her at all. It's like she hasn't even noticed that I'm crying in front of her, and I can't cope with that. It's like I'm looking at an empty shell, and that's what it's been like since she last came out of hospital at the end of November. Anyway, on Tuesday of this week, which would have been, if you bear with me, on the 20th of December, which was a Tuesday, I wheeled all the way down to Commercial Road. We went to Morrison's supermarket, we went to round the market. They had a little German market there, Poundland, Wilkinson's, a couple of other shops, Marks and Spencer's. We also went to the Guildhall, where we had a cake and a coffee in the cafe there. And although Mum did not do any walking, like in the sense of pushing a shopping trolley while I pushed her wheelchair, she didn't do any walking. She didn't fall asleep during the time we were together. Disappointed me that she didn't do any walking, but then she didn't sleep well the previous night, so I thought I'll give that to her. But she didn't sleep during the day until later on in the evening, so I was okay with that. But then the following morning, she was banging frantically on the floor in her bedroom, and I went up and she had absolutely no energy. I went in to see her, and she sort of said to me, "Oh, is it time to go to bed now?" Even though she'd only just woken up. Doctor had called. He thought she might be suffering with dementia because she was suffering with something called acute confusional state. Doctor thought she might have been suffering with dementia, and he didn't know whether it could be transient or whether it could be permanent. Because when he sort of touched her to ask if she was all right, she said, "Get away from me." She was quite delirious, and I was worried that she was like suffering with dementia, sort of losing her mind, and it was breaking my heart to see it. It really was. Paramedics came round, and she was taken to hospital in an ambulance, and Mum is in hospital over Christmas. I went to see her on Christmas Eve. I took her some presents that were given to us by my niece Jessica, and her mother Karen. So we opened some presents on Christmas Eve. It's a sort of a tradition that we go around Karen's house, Karen and Jessica's house. We exchange presents, we have a bit of a chat, and then we get home and we open them on Christmas Eve. They don't know this, but that's what we do, and that's what I did yesterday. Now today, I was supposed to be doing a dinner with Martina and Mum, but Mum's not here. So what's happened is Martina's coming around for a pizza at midday, and then me and her are going to the hospital about 2 o'clock-ish, and I'm going to let Mum open up a present. But if you can see, there are some presents underneath the tree. Not many, I might add, because Mum was only really able to buy presents for me when she was with me. So it's a bit pointless. I open up the present. Oh, what a surprise! I saw you buy this. But I bought quite a few presents for Mum. It's just so sad that she's not actually here to open them. But when she's home, we are going to have a little Christmas after Christmas. That's the plan. But it looks like there's going to be a belated Christmas on New Year's Eve, because Ben is coming to stay with me on New Year's Eve, stroke New Year's Day. So Ben will be here. I will partly do the dinner. Mum will do the other part of the dinner, and we'll have a sort of a belated Christmas here. So Ben's going to be lucky. He's going to be having Christmas with his dad. Then when he's seeing his mum on his birthday, he's going to have his Christmas with his mum, and he's going to have a Christmas with us. Although if Mum gets out of hospital before then you know, me and Mum will have a sort of Christmas together, and we'll have the Christmas dinner on New Year's Eve. That's the plan. But I saw her yesterday. She's making good progress. She's even walking to and from the toilet on her own, and she got so bored the night before, that she ended up walking to and from the actual desk where the start of the ward is. She must be bored to be doing that, because she's probably done more walking in hospital in about less than a 24-hour period than she has in about 3 months. Not 3 months, 1 month, sorry, or 3 weeks, shall we say. So I'm hoping she carries on making progress. She'll be all right. So you know, but this year has been really hard. 2015 was very hard because I was coming to terms with, or trying to come to terms with, not ever seeing you again, and it was really breaking my heart. And people at work had noticed I've gone really quiet because I could no longer talk about the most beautiful thing in my life, which was you. And then, you know, your mum pulled another little stunt whereby I was no longer seeing you ever. And 2016 was about trying to come to terms with that. And it's been 2 years now. This has been going on, and I'm still not coping with not seeing you. But I thought to myself I needed to do some positive things. I'd started writing a series of letters that I wanted you to read. The idea being is, it was important that I thought to myself that if you thought I didn't care about you, why would I write these letters? And also I thought it was important for you to sort of see things from my side. There's a different tone in each letter. One letter is quite upbeat. It's the last letter I wrote, and it was the one that was written the quickest. It was all about all the joy that you brought in my life. Another one is about pretty much sticking up for myself, sort of responding to the criticism that your mum had of me. And even whether they're justified or not, it doesn't alter the fact that there has to be some sort of carrot, in the sense that, you know, it is important for me to be in your life. And she's cut me out and more or less said, these are the reasons why. But you and I had a very loving relationship, and she should never have done that. And the other letter was like a diary of events, and I think it was probably the hardest one to write, because I had to relive a lot of things that happened. It took me so long to do it. But while I was doing these letters, my friend Martin passed away in March 2016. And it got me thinking that by the time I may or may not be reunited with you, I could be dead. Because my friend Martin was 56 years old when he died, and he was a very fit man. He used to play badminton. He used to wipe the floor with all of us, and I only ever beat him when he was ill. If he had like some muscular problem, I stood a chance of beating him. But I'm not very good at the game, and he was very good. But he passed away this year, and it was a bit of a shock. I hadn't seen him for about a year, so we weren't close, but we had been mates for about 20 years. But it got me thinking that what if I die, there'll always be these sort of questions with no answers. So I thought the idea was these letters would be passed to my friend Martina, and you can make a decision about how you feel about it. But then I later started thinking, well, it's all very well writing letters, it's all very well reading them, but they're a bit long-winded and you might get fed up with it because they're a bit self-pitying. And then I thought to myself, do you know something? The one thing these letters don't have are these videos, me talking to you. Or more to the point, what they don't have, those letters, are the videos that I made of you when you were growing up. You know, videos where we interacted and we had fun. Times that you laughed, times that you played, times you cried. You know, and these are special moments for me, and I think it's important that you have these. I've even got a video that my friend Martina's put together. It's a combination of me talking over photos that I've taken and intersected them with videos. It's very, very clever what she's done, and I really appreciate what she's done on that, because it must have taken her a long time. But I don't know what your mum would have told you about me, but it is important that you know that I loved you, and even if you don't remember the fun times that we had, there was a lot of fun, and there were a lot of cuddles, and I really miss that, and I really miss you. So I expect there will be other videos that I will post over a period of time, and maybe you will get to see them. But I want you to know that although, like, it's very strange in the sense that I've kind of I love you in the sense that it's really weird. I'm sort of love a memory of you. Like, you're growing up. I don't know what you look like now, and you're probably tall. Well, you're obviously taller, and you're probably a different person. But up until the age that you were getting on for 5 years old, that was the child that I loved. And yes, I do love a memory. I do love the memory of you. And I'm sorry I had played no future part in your life, but it wasn't of my choosing. Anyway, Merry Christmas.